Hey, good to see you. Here we are, lesson one of unit one. We're talking about HTML and CSS objectives for this unit. Uh, and here's the supplemental video, a little friendly reminder. Videos are included with some lessons, not all of them, and they are supplements, meaning they don't replace the written content and make sure you are reading through everything. So let's jump into it. Again, my name's Mr. Foreman. We are here in Web Apps Bootcamp, Unit 1, Lesson 1. And this is just going over the what the unit's about here. So, boom, during this week, and this is going to be over a week, we're talking about HTML and CSS. If that doesn't mean anything to you, if you're like, I don't know what that is, don't worry about it. We'll get into it. We're going to basically be creating like static, like non-moving parts websites where you can like design things and move titles and images and everything around. This is our goal here. So you'll be working along with your partner through this whole unit over a couple weeks to work through all the material. And I should say you'll work with one partner a week, of course, and you'll be switching partners halfway through. So we'll be looking at the agenda here in a second and talking about how that's going to work. But not to distract, here we are looking at the plan for this unit, and the plan is to go over some HTML. That means basic, like putting content on the page, words on the page, and things on the page. We'll create readmes, which are files that are going along with any project, any programming, anything. It's just industry standard. You always have a readme with your stuff, which has your authorship and like who owns it, who created it, and when it was made, and any instructions. And that goes for any program or website, is just standard. So we'll be learning that, totally easy. And then we'll be getting into some CSS, which is styling. So once you have the content on the page, you want to turn your font red and change the font and do all that kind of stuff and make it look like spectacular and presentable. And an outward exploration of your soul and your own creativity and all that. And we'll be getting into a library, a thing called Bootstrap, which helps you with a lot of styling stuff too, and just kind of like what looks kind of good. So that's what we're getting into these next couple weeks. Units were bad, put it really cleanly, boom, like we're making, like I was saying, create static web pages using HTML. You style them with CSS. You're going to create a README, boom, Bootstrap, which is that library that helps you style stuff, totally easy to apply and make your own website with responsive design. And don't worry about what that means right now. So these are our goals for this unit over the next couple of weeks. We are talking about this, so in terms of grade, primarily your grade, as a reminder, is based off of your independent project. You'll have an independent project at the end of each unit. That's every other week. So there will be like formative, like smaller assignments along the way, but your big one where like you create like your heart website, like you're making like your big, those are going to be about every other week here, with resubmissions allowed, again, the independent project. So here are the specifics of what's going to be included with them. It kind of looks long, but it's not that bad actually. You're going to be using HTML tags of this type. Don't worry about what that means right now if that doesn't mean anything to you. We will be styling those things. So if these are your titles and your words and stuff, then you're expected to be able to like make them red and like apply your style sheets. Your code looks good, you're following good indentation, and that becomes really easy with modern technologies and stuff. You have a README with all your info in it. The project looks good, and the required content's in place. A little reminder, like this is a not big stress, like definitely it's the most important like big project and assessment of the unit, but you are allowed to resubmit if you're having issues and aren't able to have like all your code perfect and everything in place by the deadline, that's okay as long as you have a submission in. You're allowed to resubmit, and as we talked about at the beginning of the class. So as we get into that, I'll give you like reminders when you hand in your first one, so don't worry about that. All right, great. I'm going to make a separate video that's kind of talking about agenda, but glad you're here. That's the overview for Unit 1.